into the first semester of my junior year, I read a book by a guy named Dr. Dennis Kimbrough called What Makes the Great Great. Now, I really needed this book because at the end of my junior year, like many of you, I was a leader on campus. Like many of you, I was not just involved, I was over-involved. At the end of my junior year, I was an RA and I was doing all kinds of things. I had a job at the law school, and then if I had like 20 minutes, I might sleep, right? And so I was so involved because I was one of the good brothers on campus, like you. And so I developed this reputation as being one of those guys who you could depend on. And so I leaned into that because that was my way of being equal to the Kappas and the Alphas and the football players. That's just who Jonathan was. And so I leaned into that. So I was so over-involved that I ended up turning in a 1.75 GPA. Have any of you ever been in a place where you knew that you had to make a choice, but you didn't like either one of your options? You know, where you knew you could either quit, but what that was going to give you was not the outcome that you wanted, or you could continue on knowing that that wasn't going to give you the option that you wanted because you were really not, clearly doing what you were doing was not going to be sufficient. And so I was stuck between that rock and a hard place. I'm talking real life. And so I picked up a book called What Makes the Great Great. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough talked about these great black achievers. And for the first time, I saw myself as being in the lineage of these great men and women. He talked about Wally Famous Amos. Y'all ever had Famous Amos cookies? Mm-hmm. Wally Amos was, you know, he doesn't own that anymore. He doesn't even own his name anymore. He sold it all. Wally Amos, he was talking about how charismatic he was. And he talked about the meeting that he had with him as he was writing this book. Wally Famous Amos agreed to talk with him so that he could be in line with one of these other great black achievers. And he said, well, tell me the secret behind your vision. Tell me the secret that has pushed you and fueled you beyond all the obstacles and everything that's made you so successful. And he said, come here. Took him over to the window. He parted the blinds. And he said, look out here. Okay? He said, what did you just see? I see people. He said, look out there again. I see a lot of people. He said, look out there again. I see a lot of little people. He said, that's your problem. See, when I look out that window, I see customers. I see people who will one day be enjoying bags of my cookies. And so what happens to us is that God has a big vision for our lives, but all you can see is people. When you look out there, when you walk through the mall, when you go through the city of Dallas or Toledo or Houston or Phoenix or San Francisco, my question to you, brothers, is what do you see? Do you see it for what it is, or do you see it for what it can be? Whose lenses are you seeing it through? See, I thank God for Dr. Bledsoe because about 22 years ago, he saw me more than being the young man who had a 1.75 GPA. He saw me as what I could be. He saw me as an author of 13 books. He saw me as a national figure. He saw me as someone who could be on television, someone who could have his own radio show, someone who could become one of the leaders in his industry, someone who has been able to gain the respect of people twice his age, someone who one day could be a visionary who would also be able to bring other people along. When you look at yourself, what do you see?
Are you asking me like you want to answer?
That's rhetorical. So your vision influences what you see. So in 1996, what we saw was some words on a page. But those words on a page end up being the motto and the words that have changed and saved some of your lives. So I said there were two things. That was number one. Number two, I want you to ask yourself this question. I didn't know I was going to be talking about this, y'all, so I want you to ask yourself this question. If everyone in Saab were just like me, what kind of organization would Saab be? You're gonna drop the mic, you're gonna drop the phone. Take that. Everybody in this organization were just like me. What kind of group would Saab be? See, Dr. John Maxwell, who was another person who spoke into my life when I was just out of college. He wrote a book called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And he says this, he says, you can always attract what you want, but you will reproduce what you are. So in order to earn more, you've got to learn more. So what new ideas are you bringing into Student African American Brotherhood? Who you are right now as a collective group, and I honor you fellas, I do. I took a picture of this just for me, right? This makes my heart feel good to see you. I had no idea that I was gonna talk, but for me to just be a casual observer, I honor, this is beautiful to me. This makes me feel, I didn't have the best outcome today that I wanted, but this warms my heart. Like I'm good for my 4-hour drive home because I've been able to see you. Real talk. What you bring to the table, what got you here, won't get you there. You all are all set up right now. You're talking about social media, the exact amount of followers that you have, that's exactly where your system is set up to get you. If it's 5,000, 500, wherever you are. Let's say you have 5,000 followers. Your system and your knowledge base right now will only get you to 5,000 followers. The only way you're ever going to make the jump to the next level is to bring more. You've got to educate yourself. Your income will only reflect your level of self-development. So in order to make that next jump to where you believe Saab can be, it is an individual effort. What books are you bringing to the table? What new knowledge? What new experience? You got to bring a better you the next time this meeting comes, wherever it is. And I don't know where it is or when it is, but you got to be dedicated to bring a better you. See, this is how I'm going to change, and this is how I'm going to change the organization. Listen to what I'm saying. This is how I'm going to change, and this is how I'm going to change the organization. Or else 2019 is going to look exactly like 2018, which will look exactly like 2017. What are you bringing new? Reason why many of you are still here is because Dr. Bledsoe continues to reinvent himself. He shows you the value of opening a book. He shows you the value of learning new things. He is showing you the value of becoming something new. That's why in the Bible it says, renew your mind daily. Not every now and again. What are you bringing to the group? What is your commitment to Saab's 2020 goal? Yours, 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 yours. Rudyard Kipling, we all know his poem, If. All y'all who played something, you definitely know that one. There's another one that he wrote called The Law of the Jungle. It says, the strength of the wolf, the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. So in order to get there in 2020, I'm not really interested in what this person or this person or this person has to say. What's your commitment to you? I am sure of one thing, that God has much bigger plans for you than your plans for yourself. But what you have to be willing to do is meet him halfway. And you meet him every time you open up a book. Every time you're willing to step out and do something that you're uncomfortable with doing. Whether it's a poem, whether it's a report, whether it's learning, listen to this, I don't know why I'm going here. Whether it's opening yourself up to apologize to somebody or forgive somebody so that you can make space in your heart to receive a new level of love. I'm talking about holistic success, man to man. I gotta get on the road, so I'm gonna keep it focused. One thing that we're really good at is going out and slaying the dragon. We know how to do that because that's what validates us as a man. You know, look at my watch, look at my phone, look at my car, look at these shoes, look at these glasses. I'm popping. But I believe that the kind of success that we really need to have in 2018 that will get us ready for 2020 is a success that starts with you showing up whole. Because in order for us to do the kind of numbers that you really want to do, we're going to have to love some people who don't know how to be loved. We're going to have to love some brothers who are broken. Just like some of you were, and just like some of you are. Broken. This is the most unfathered generation that we've ever had.
Facts.
And it's incumbent upon those who know better to go out and do better. If you think about that scene, Jesus talks to Peter and said, hey, do you love me? Now, if you know a little bit about the nuances of it, he said, do you love me? He said, phileo. He said, agape. He's like, yo, no, I phileo you. I think you're cool. He said, no, do you love me? He's like, yo, you my boy. I love you. He's like, no, do you love me? And he said, if you love me, then go feed my sheep. Certain things that won't ever repay you in dollars. It won't repay you in, it's not going to get you more clicks, it's not going to get you more likes. Let me tell you, only about 10% of the work that he does ever even gets recognized. Real talk. 90% of it he does for you. Let me be real. For your children. So that the world would be a better place, so that when people see your unborn child, that they don't look at that young man with fear. And so that he has a space in this world, on any university, in any academy, so that he feels like I too have a dream. Only 10% of what he does is getting recognized. You have to have a level of love for men, black, brown, white, and otherwise. Gay, straight, Christian, Muslim, atheist, confused, all in between. It's got to be a level of love that's inside of you that allows you and fuels you to say, I gotta get better. I gotta do more. I gotta bring more me. We gotta bring more to the table. And if you really want to do it right, I gotta put somebody under my wing, because I then have to pass the torch.
That's right.
The best thing that you can do as a leader, the best thing, strengthen the next generation.
That's right.
Because you can attract what you want, but you only reproduce what you are. So those flaws, those hurts, that unwillingness to look at somebody and tell them, I love you, I miss you, all of those things that you're unwilling to do, like A, B, C, E, F, G, all those little flaws, those get replicated in the next generation. You don't do it and they don't do it. So you heal so that we heal. So that's the deep work. One thing I know about Saab is that we're not afraid to step up and hug the monster. So when y'all have your talk tonight, that's what it's about, or whenever that time might be. It's about hugging the monster, so you can bring a better me, so that we can be a better we. I want y'all to know I'm super excited about you, and I had no idea that this time was going to happen, but I thank God that it did.
That's right.
And I hope that it blessed somebody, and I want you to know, from my heart to yours, I love you, and I am my brother's keeper. And
Together we rise.